What's up? Welcome to today's live stream. I'm Will. It's Thanksgiving today, which means it is a Thursday, November 23rd to be exact. Oh, I just realized my music isn't playing. Let me play my music. Give me a second. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I figured I'd do a live stream today because I said I would live stream every day. At least I said that last night. So here I am trying to remain true to my word and do as I say I'm going to do. Let me close some things from what I was looking at last night real quick. I think I'm going to be reacting to some video content maybe, or I may just work on a video that, you know what, maybe I'll work on that video. Maybe that could be a thing. I don't know if I'm going to work on it now in the stream, but what I am going to do is commit to uploading a video today. Tomorrow, I'll commit to doing it tomorrow. After thinking about it, I was like, yeah, nah, I have things that I'm going to be doing today, related to the holiday. Obviously, it's a holiday, so I'm actually going. I don't think I'm going to get a video out today. Maybe be tomorrow. Yo, what's up, Chris? Yeah, I'm streaming early today. That's because it's a holiday, first of all, which means that I'm off. I wake up early. Number two is because it's the Thanksgiving holiday, I have like things that I'm gonna go do, like most people who live here. So most of that stuff starts a little bit later. So like I'll be doing lunch with my mom. A couple people have invited me to like come out to do some Thanksgiving dinner stuff, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm not sure. Like me and my mom, we might do some other stuff. Maybe I'm not sure. So yeah, how you doing? How you doing this morning, Chris? Or did you already leave? Am I sharing my screen? Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. I said I was gonna remove stuff I was looking at last night, so let me do that right quick. That's actually what I was looking at last night. I was doing some research. It's nothing bad. It's just that I might have like things that I can't show to public people. And let me make sure I have all of Firefox is closed. Make sure, because I was doing some development for internal thing, and I don't want that. That doesn't need to be here. But yeah, here we are. Here's the actual project. Let's close that. All right, now we're good. All right, so now we can look at my screen. You just woke up. Well, to be fair, like I can't wait. Where are you at? Are you in the Philippines right now? Or are you in Vegas? If you're in Vegas, well, that makes sense. Like it's 6 a.m. So it sounds like you and I wake up at the same time. I woke up at 6 a.m. as well. No, crack of dawn, the butt crack of dawn, as they like to say. Was up before the sun. I ended up watching a few videos in bed. Like I was in the bed watching videos. So I was like, man, let me get my ass up, get on this computer, get this stream out, because I said I'm gonna do it, and it's better to get it out of the way. Just get it done and over with. It's like eating like vegetables or food that you don't like. It's better to just eat it first, get it out the way. Or if you like gym stuff, just go to the gym in the morning, just get it out of the way. Unless you love it. Like I don't really love it. So you're in Vegas. That's what's up. What do you got planned today? Doing anything with the fam? Going anywhere? What kind of food you making, or do y'all do different things for Thanksgiving? Given that you're Filipino and all, like, do y'all have are you gonna make lumpia? There's someone who makes lumpia there. I'm curious. And are you surprised that I know a Filipino dish other than adobo chicken or chicken adobo? Nah, just working all day. My parents don't celebrate anything. Okay. So I actually don't celebrate Thanksgiving either, but the people around me do. So yeah. So I'll be doing stuff because, well, I guess I have to. Why don't you make you some lumpia, bro? Wait, hold on. Wait. What are you doing right now? Are you just watching me? Why don't you just hop on stream? What are we doing? Actually, hold on. I am going to react to some shit. Like, maybe you don't want to be associated with what I'm about to react to. I don't know. Maybe you don't. Although this video is a video that I was watching earlier, I just realized that because I'm reacting to videos, I probably should turn off music So I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my music again, and then we'll turn up my volume just a little bit. And let me turn off all of my like my little settings so that we can hear stuff. All right, so the video that I want to watch, that I want to share today, is from Anton Daniels. Okay, all right, hold on. All right, I don't know what tinola is. Let me figure out. I gotta Google that one. Chicken tinola. Okay, so it's soup. Okay. Wait, why are all of these just like, I want to know about the dish, like the history of the dish. I guess this is good enough. Tinola is a Filipino soup, usually served as a main course with some rice. Traditionally, this dish is cooked with chicken or fish, wedges of papaya, sweet, and chayote, or chayote. Okay, and leaves ceiling labuyo, chili pepper, and broth flavored with ginger, onions, and fish sauce. So the papaya, I'm pretty sure I won't like it just because of this. Like papaya is one of those interesting things. Oh, Chat GPT. Wait, Chat GPT. What are we talking about? Oh yeah, did you I saw that what's his face? Sam is back. I think I talked about that last night. I don't remember. Maybe I did. Sam is back, but I saw some new news this morning about some of the possible reasons for the departure, and it has something to do with a project that they were working on called QStar. Here, let me pull that up. I'm over here. How are we supposed to be doing I'm over here supposed to be doing video reactions. Man, I guess we're gonna do whatever. It don't matter. Fuck agendas. We just gonna do stuff. All right, let's see here. Let's see if we can find QStar. What is QStar? Here we are. Okay, exclusive OpenAI. Okay, so exclusive OpenAI researchers warn board of AI breakthrough ahead of CEO ousters, sources say. And I will go ahead and read this right quick. So let me make this a little bit bigger so you all read along, unless y'all like me just reading to you. If so, fine, I guess. It's weird, but okay. All right, Big Daddy Will read to you. That's my new name from now on, Big Daddy Will, when I'm reading. Anyways, ahead of OpenAI, CEO Sam Altman's 4 days in exile, several staff researchers wrote a letter to the board of directors warning of a powerful AI discovery that they say could threaten humanity. Oh my gosh, all right. Two people familiar with the matter. All right, so before I even continue, we always make all these things, it could threaten humanity, but like literally everything we do threatens humanity. Our existence is a threat to our humanity. Or am I wrong? I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I'll move on. The previously unreported letter and AI algorithm were key developments before the board's ouster of Altman, the poster child of generative AI. The two sources, whatever. All right. I hate this type of sentence structure, by the way, where it's like they say the thing and then it's like, comma, the two sources said. It's like, all right. Prior to his triumphant return, late Tuesday, more than 700 employees had threatened to quit and join backer Microsoft in solidarity with their fired leader. The sources cited the letter as one, what word is that? Factor among a longer list of grievances by the board leading to Altman's firing, among which were concerns over commercializing advances before understanding the consequences. That sounds literally like every technology humans invent ever on Earth. That's like this would be the equivalent of people saying, you know what, computers could be a danger to humanity. They can threaten humanity, and surely they can. And people are like, oh yeah, like we don't want to let these computers out because, you know, they can have consequences, and like maybe we shouldn't commercialize it because we don't truly understand all of the things. Just like, you know, literally every technology ever, literally on Earth. And anyone who disagrees with me, I'm curious, cite a source that backs your claim of whatever you disagree with. But yeah, my non-opinion, yeah, this is fact. I'm going with that. We're making up facts on this show now. And my fact, anyway, let's keep going. After being contacted by Reuters, however you say that, OpenAI, which declined to comment, acknowledged in an internal message to staffers a project called QStar. This is actually the part. All this was a waste of our time. This is where the real meat gets into, I guess. Q-Star, in a letter to the board before the weekend's events, one of the people, oh my God. All right. An OpenAI spokesperson said that the message sent by longtime executive Mira Murati alerted staff to certain media stories without commenting on their accuracy. Some at OpenAI believe Q-Star. Okay, thank you for that. Okay. Could be a breakthrough in the startup search for what's known as artificial general intelligence. One of the people told Reuters, again, this writing style is so weird. I'm gonna have to like read forward. So I'm gonna read a little bit slower because I'm gonna read ahead while I'm reading. OpenAI defines AGI as an autonomous system that surpasses humans in the most economically valuable tasks. Okay. Given vast computing resources, the new model is able to solve certain mathematical problems. Okay, I'm not saying that. Though only performing math on the level of a grade school student. All right, so this actually is a big deal. Like, this may not seem like that big of a deal, but if you've used any of these language models, you will know that they are trash at math. They don't do math at all. So yeah, this is actually something, right? This is something. Okay, yeah. Reuters could not independently verify the capabilities of Q-Star. Okay. Oh, here, look at this. So researchers consider math to be a frontier of generative AI development. I don't know what that statement means. I mean, I do know what it means, but I don't know the implications. Like I don't understand how large language models and math or generative AI, like I just don't understand how generative AI and math go along, but maybe, I don't know, maybe they do. Currently, generative AI is good at writing. Yeah, and yeah, again, right? So like here, this is why I don't understand it, because my understanding of generative AI is that it uses probability to predict the next word or token or something, whatever jargon you want to use. It uses the probability of all of the tokens before it or the context before it to predict what's going to be the next thing. The problem with math is that there is no prediction, right? Like it's effectively algorithm. It's algorithmic. I'm curious to see what they have to say about this now. I went from not giving a fuck to, okay, this actually, okay, this is something that's doing maths. Okay, this could be applied to novel scientific research, for instance, AI. Okay, all right. Unlike a calculator that can solve a limited number of operations, AGI can generalize, learn, and comprehend. In a letter to the board, researchers flagged AI's prowess and potential danger without specifying the exact safety concerns noted. And see, that's the issue, is that I've been seeing a lot of this word right here. I've been seeing a lot of safety. And to date, no one has gone through, like, taking the time to define what that word means. Like, what is safety? I have a few people here. I'm curious. Can you all share your idea? Like, what's safety to you? And I'm curious, and I would hope if you share, don't read what other people say. Although honestly, like, probably no one's gonna respond. But like, let's pretend that people are gonna respond. Like, don't read the other responses. I'm actually curious. I'll do a poll one day when I have actual followers on Twitch. It'll be on Twitch, but not now. I'm gonna move on because yeah. Nothing proves we're in the Matrix. Wait, nothing proves we're in the Matrix. What do you mean nothing proves we're? I don't know. Like, I don't know. Wait, hold on. All right, wait. What's great, Chris? I think you gotta help me out. I don't know if y'all know this, but the stream that you all see is 15 minutes behind. I'm not 15 minutes. I'm lying. 15 seconds. 15 to 20 seconds generally behind. So if you message me, I may not know what you're talking about. And I'm sure you understand, Chris, because you stream too, so you should know. Let's see here. All right, so researchers have also flagged work by AI scientists team, the existence of which multiple sources confirmed. Did I read that right? Researchers have flagged work by an AI scientist team. Why is this in quotes? The existence of which multiple sources confirm. The group formed by combining earlier CodeGen and MassGen teams were exploring how to optimize existing AI models to improve their reasoning and eventually perform scientific work. One of the people said. All right. I don't think there's not much else here. Other than, yeah, there's not much else here. Here's QStar is actually it's a weight of training, right? Like I think you start out with these initial weights and then you move like every step in time you take. I think it's meant to make a prediction based off of the previous states. And then I think it has some type of optimization function. And the reason why it's called Q star is that it has a function called Q, which I argue, I don't know if this is true, don't believe me because I don't know anything, but I have always looked at Q as the same thing that exists in audio or signal processing. So Q, here I'll show you Q factor at least. So we'll say Q factor, which is not Q star. I want to make that clear. So here's Q factor here. And honestly, I don't really get into the math that much on this particular thing. I know how this works intuitively because I do music. So yeah, like I'm assuming that this Q star could be the similar thing to this, but I don't know. To be honest, I'm gonna be honest. I don't know. Let's look at Q star because again, I haven't done this stuff in a long time, and I think this is like relatively new. Like this is stuff that I've never really. Wait, where is Q star? Oh, here we are. Q star. Q star, gray hole. Nope, that's not it. Wait, what? Maybe if I put Q star with maybe that's what it's called. Q star AI. Okay, oh my gosh. Wiki. Q learning. There we are. Here we are. Q learning. Here, yes, this is the key right here. It's a model-free reinforcement learning algorithm. So the benefit of this is that you don't really need a model. You don't like it. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to. This is again. I have never done Q learning in my life. I have only learned about it when I was doing this type of stuff in the past. And by learning about it, I learned of its existence. I've never done Q learning. I have done reinforcement learning. So it says that it's a type of reinforcement learning. So I imagine that I understand some parts of this, but not most of it because I haven't read it. I don't know what the Q stands for, at least. Let's see what Q stands for. I don't even know what that stands for. Q learning finds an optimal policy. Okay, is it quantization? Is that what Q learning? Is that what the Q is for? No. Was introduced by Chris Wilkinson. Oh, shit. Oh, wow, this is, okay, learning from delayed rewards. Let's read that paper. All right, we're about to get to this reaction because remember, that's actually what I wanted to do. Let me read this chat though. Let's see. Let me put this on. In regards to safety, it would be terrifying the world if OpenAI proved we live in the Matrix. I am going to argue that we don't live in a make-believe world that was introduced in a movie. I know a lot of people like to equate, the life that we have with this make-believe movies that we have, but The Matrix is no more real than Game of Thrones. It's a figment of a group of people's imagination. I mean, it's real in the sense that, people thought they had real thoughts and they manifested those thoughts into a medium that they can share with you and I and other people. It's real in that sense, but no, this Matrix bullshit is bullshit. People lose me with this Matrix bullshit. I've been to too many places on Earth to believe in shit like that. Nah, not for me. Let me save this right quick so I can move on to that video because I think it's really important actually. I think it'll be useful to other people, and it speaks to something that I went through personally. And we'll pause and talk about stuff eventually. I'm like, why can't I find things? Like, am I just dumb? I think I'm dumb. I just don't like. I don't understand. I try to do stuff and then I can't figure out how to do it. It takes me a long time to do shit. All right, here we are. We'll put it in my papers. Let's see. Yes, Chris. I know you know that, but again, like, you know, what I've learned is that there are a lot of younger, impressionable people online. More so, well, I don't know if it's more so than in reality, but it's obviously a lot easier to come across those types of folks. And I have a feeling that my audience would be more predisposed to those types of thoughts, mainly because my audience is 100% male. 100% male. I looked for the history of my channel, and my channel has been in existence since like 07 or something. Like, of course, like, you know, like, well, my streaming content hasn't, like, real talk. If you account for all, if you add up all the views that, or even, yeah, if you add up all the views I've done on my stream since I started YouTube, they don't amount to my lowest viewed video from however long ago when I posted my first few videos, which is kind of, I don't know, it's interesting. Very interesting. And like, I took those videos down years ago, so they haven't even been on my profile anymore. All right, let's move on to YouTube here, and then we're gonna find Anton Daniels. We're gonna watch this video, and we're gonna talk about it, I guess. Maybe there might be 3 videos that I'll do. Wait, forgiveness. Wait, did I just see it? Am I dumb? Yeah, see, man, that's what I mean. Like, that's what I mean by, like, I'm dumb. Like, it's literally in front of me, and I don't see it.
I know what y'all feeling.
Anyway, can y'all hear this?
About the
can y'all hear that?
Unsettled, worrying, and all that.
Let me know. Yes or no. Thumbs up. Well, actually, no. I forgot. Thumbs up is if you like it. But yeah, do give a thumbs up. Do like this for real. Like, it requires literally no effort. You know, just move your finger a little bit. But like, can y'all hear this video? If not, I guess I'll just watch it. It's fine.
Right? Because it's a couple people in here that keep coming with the same sentiment every day. And let me just address that really quickly before we get into the show.
Oh, you hear it? All right. Perfect. Thank you. Let me figure out a better way of. Do I want to create a scene right now? Is that something that I should do? Or y'all can see this fine, hopefully, right? Right. Although what I could do, how many of these do I have open? I don't have any of these open. So what I'm going to do is we're going to change my scene just a little bit right quick. Give me one moment as I figure out how to do that. All right, you know what? I'm just going to create a new scene. We'll duplicate this scene. All right, so this is going to be app plus me. All right, switch to that scene, and then we're going to share arc. There we go. So now we have arc, and it doesn't matter where I move it. It'll be full screen. And then, yeah, okay. I guess I'm big enough. I'm not that important, so we'll go with that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and play this video. I'm gonna, stop here and there and talk about some things, or whatever. But just happy to just ride along, I guess.
I was having a conversation with some people over the weekend and this morning. I had a conversation with Rita this morning, and let me tell you, this is the honest. I'm so glad, and this is one of the reasons Tam said optimistic, Yakar said purpose. I'm so glad that y'all telling me how y'all feel, because I used to feel that too. All right, so let me give you a little bit of insight, and then we're gonna get into the show, because we got a lot to cover today. For all of you that are feeling unsettled, worried.
Oh, before I continue, like, this is Anton Daniels. He does a streaming show every morning. And if you want to check his stuff out, it's I think it's the Millionaire Morning Show. He has a bunch of channels. Just type in Anton Daniels, you'll find his stuff.
I don't know what's gonna happen next. I'm in a dire situation. This may happen or whatever. First and foremost, let me lead with this by saying that you don't want to live it twice. Stop living it twice. A lot of time you living it once when it's not even to come because you already worrying about something that's not even going to show itself to be a part of your life. And then if it is to come, then face it head on, but don't live it twice. And then don't live it twice or 3 times in your past by then revisiting it every time you feel a certain way so that it then shows itself, its ugly head, and then it's controlling you. It's controlling your thoughts. It's controlling the way that you look at things. It's controlling your relationships. This is one of the reasons why I say it's difficult for a lot of women to get into a new relationship once they've been into a whole lot of relationships, because subconsciously what happens is they carry a lot of those residual effects from the past into whatever it is that they got going on in the future. And they may not even know that they're doing it. However, they are. And so a lot of times the boyfriend or the new guy or the new husband can see it. And so he got to work with you through it because you can't let go of the things that you had in your past and you don't understand how to. So I'm going to give you a little bit.
All right, so I'm going to pause there. There's a few things he said. First of all, he said, don't live things twice, for real. Like a lot of people I've met, especially honestly, in the past, I've had a habit of just walking away from those people because I don't like it. But there are some people who, like, no matter what, they can't let negative shit go. Something bad happened in their life. And for some reason, like, that's the only thing that they can think about, right? Like, anytime, that you're talking about future stuff, it's like, oh, we're looking back. It's always looking back in the past. It's almost like the people who their peak was high school and all they do is look back in the past at what they once were instead of like, looking into the future, into who they need to become, right? That's the first thing he said. But the second thing he said was also about like the whole with how I don't agree that it's just females. I think it's both. But I do see it like in relationships. I actually had a girlfriend a long time ago, back when I was in early college. I think I had just graduated high school. Like all kinds of like weird, I don't know. I had to deal with a bunch of stuff, and I understand absolutely what he's talking about. How it's like it's always the people who come after who have to deal with it, or I don't know. I said who have to deal with it, but let's take that back. You don't have to deal with it. That's the one thing that I've learned, and I don't actually anymore. But when I was a little bit younger, I thought that I just had to deal with it. And yeah, anyway, we'll go ahead and go for it.
Bit of insight on how you can let it go, and then B, how you can deal with it going forward, and that you don't let it affect how you're doing things going into the future, right? So I was telling Rita this morning, and I was having a conversation because this is something that I didn't share with her. And a lot of times, us men, right? Men tend to deal with things silently because we just understand what it means to be a man. And women don't really understand it because they've never been a man, which is one of the reasons why I tell you guys, stop trying to be men, stay in your space, because your femininity is your superpower. But men understand that we have no safety net. And I was telling Rita, I said, man, I just been having this uneasy feeling within my spirit over the weekend.
I think it's worth mentioning that Rita is his wife. I think that's worth mentioning. And yeah, I'll go ahead and
maybe it was from you guys, but I have been having this uneasy spirit in my soul for the weekend, and I just been taking it in, right? And overnight, I wake up in the middle of the night, and then I got up and I prayed about it, and I said, what is happening with this uneasy spirit? What am I concerning myself with? Why am I being woken up in the middle of the night not feeling good about something? What is this feeling? And then I went over my whole...
All right, real talk. Have any of you felt that way? Like just in life ever? And I imagine this, if I have a younger audience, I've looked at the data. I'm going to assume that most of you all haven't been through much, but I know that there's some people who have been, especially the older folks. I do know that there are a few older folks. They tend to talk a little bit more here in the chat. And I'm just curious, like, have y'all ever had situations like that where it's just like you wake up in the middle of the night just feeling a certain kind of way, and it's like you don't really understand why, but you do feel a certain kind of way? I'm just curious, has anyone else had that? Because I've definitely had that. I remember when I was in Oman, weirdest thing happened, man. Like I was, of course I was asleep because, I was asleep, and I had this it was a nightmare. Like I haven't had a nightmare in honestly, I haven't had dreams since my nightmare when I was a kid, when I dreamed or had a nightmare that Free Willy was chasing me chasing me around the house. This was when I had just learned how to ride my bike. I had training wheels and I couldn't ride away fast enough because the Free Willy was gonna get me. Yeah, anyway. So that was my last dream, like real talk. And that was when I was probably 6 or 7, maybe younger. I just remember where I was when I had it. It was at my grandparents' house. Yeah. Anyway, so I'm not going to describe this dream because reasons. But this new nightmare that I had when I was in Oman, it basically caused me to wake up like sweating, like just like I couldn't go back to sleep at all, and the strangest set of coincidences happened during that period of time. First of all, I looked at the time. I don't know why I remember the time, but I do. It was 3:15 a.m. Of course, in Oman time. I don't know what it was in like American time. All right, so within a minute after waking up, I get a text message from my mom asking, "Hey, how are you doing? Are you all right?" Well, this happened. I would have to go and search. I was like, let me see, but I forget. I have hundreds, maybe thousands of messages with my mom since then. So it would be hard for me to find it. But she said something. She's like, "Oh, like I don't know. I just had a feeling or something." She's like, "I just wanted to check on you." All right, that part. Within 3 minutes after that, I get a text message from my ex, not the one from like high school, but from the one from like not long ago. I get a message from her asking if I'm all right. How am I doing? All right. The weirdest shit. And like after that happened, I was just like, what the fuck? Because like the thing is that the nightmare was about that girl dying. That was the nightmare. I said I wasn't going to get into the details. I still won't get into the details, but that was the nightmare. Like in the hospital, deathbed type shit. And it was weird that like I wake up the way I wake up, and then the two people who like, I mean, to be honest, like there are only really a few people in life who I'm like, it's like my mom is one of them, and then a few other people. So it's like the two people, they're messaging me asking me like, am I all right? And it's like, what the hell? I think that's weird. And then I ended up because I have other folks, like I ended up messaging a couple of my friends describing all of the stuff, and I described it in detail, and they're like, man, that sounds like, well, first of all, they didn't say man. I will be honest, I'm not ashamed to admit I do have friends who are girls, so I'm a tech guy who has, so this was a girl. I won't say her name here because I think she's known, but like this was one of my friends, and she was like, William, you like that, you need to do something about that. I don't know what to do. So I didn't go back to sleep that day. I went to work that day, and yeah, that was that. Anyway, I'm just curious, have y'all ever just woken up just like, and you just like a feeling like what's going on? I understand it, and he'll get into it a little bit, but I just wanted to stop there, share a little bit of a short story.
Whole life with a fine tooth comb, and I said, okay, I'm taking care of business. I'm on top of things. My people that work for me is good. Everything is straight, right? And so I just went ahead and I went to sleep, and then I just let it go. I prayed about it. I let it go. And then the next day I was feeling the same way. And then I prayed about it and I let it go. And then I had to revisit some stuff in my past in order to ensure that I wasn't doing the same thing that I used to do. And so this was my problem, right?
So what he's about to describe, I'm gonna let him cook in a bit. But like what he's about to describe is something that like I had to come to terms with, and it took ayahuasca and a bunch of other things to finally get over that hump. But I'll go ahead and let him cook, and then I'll pause it a little bit.
Us that come from the hood, for example.
That's me, by the way.
We know what it's like not to have nothing. We know what it's like to be broke. We know what it's like to go through something and then to overcome it. But the thing that we don't deal with is the fact that we can't let that past go. And so we use that past in order to propel ourselves, but we don't know how to let it go. And this is one of
all right, so that's why I want to pause that right there. Is we don't know how to let it go. So I definitely resonate with this because I grew up, like I didn't grow up in like I wasn't like impoverished. At least I don't think I was. Yeah, I don't think I was impoverished. Definitely wasn't like, like yeah. Anyway, all that to say is that I got to a position in life to where like I am so far removed to how I grew up, yet I couldn't shake off how I grew up, even though I'm a completely different person. Like, at this point, wait, hold on, let me do some math. I'm 34 since 20. Okay, so we're getting close. So in a few more years, I will have been, let's just say I will have half of my life, I will have been what you would consider upper middle class in a few years, right? Like, which is ironic because, like, you know, a lot of times I will base a lot of things on what I do now on my upbringing, which is over time becoming a smaller and smaller proportion of my life, right? So it's this idea of like, maybe this thing that like, yeah, it's who you are, but it becomes a smaller and smaller portion of your life because, well, you're older and we only spend 18, maybe 20, 21 years, you know, at home with our parents, you know, growing up, per se. And in my case, you know, I left a little bit early. I think I left at like 17 or 18 or something like that. But yeah, anyway, let's go.
Things that really held me down before I started to really take off and transcend, right? So, for example, I would use all of the, and I'm going to read that super chat shortly. I'm going to come to y'all shortly. I would use all of the stuff that people said that I couldn't do. Oh, you never going to make it out the hood. You never going to be nothing.
I did that.
Your YouTube channel is never going to be nothing. You're never going to be.
So I did that, except the people who said this was like my teacher. One of my teachers said something. It wasn't that like I wasn't going to be nothing because I was dumb like that. It was more of, I was a problem child. I'll just say that. I had a little bit of a problem. I don't know. I think I may have been a bad kid for a little bit. I'm no longer a bad person, but I used to be a kind of a bad kid. But I think most boys are bad kids, right? Until they're not, you know. No, it's just a certain age, I guess. Yeah.
To the highest levels of corporate America, your businesses is gonna fail. You know, the stuff that people said that I couldn't do. Oh, you never gonna.
Yeah. So again, the whole people saying what you can't do. For me, that was my. Well, I won't say who it was, but it was someone who's my family who should never say those types of things. And it was honestly, it was that drove me, right? Where it's like somebody said I was dumber than him. And it's just like, okay, all right. And I'm happy to say that within 10 years of my career, like this person, he did financially well. Let's just say that I have earned exactly what he has earned in 10 years of my career total, right? Like, and this is someone who had a multi-million, like a eight-figure business. Yeah. So again, like I understand where he's going, where he's saying, where it's like you use the things that people say about you. You use the things that people say, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you're not good enough. You use that and you say, nah, I'm going to go and do this. And I often tell people that's me. It's like, if you want to get me to do something, tell me I can't do it. He's talking about that.
Make it out the hood. You're never gonna be nothing. Your YouTube channel is never gonna be nothing. You're never gonna be able to get to the highest levels of corporate America. Your businesses is gonna fail. I've been hearing that my entire life. People sitting there, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have experienced the same thing. You try to start a business and people can't wait for you to fail. And if you decide that you want to exit that business, or that business don't go the way you wanted it to go, or it didn't go the way that you planned for it, people are laughing at it or whatever, or they saying, or a teacher in your past.
So I don't know if anybody's ever did this to me, but I definitely know this is true. And I'm curious, have any of you experienced anything like this? Have any of you tried to do anything and you tell your friends or your family, or, well, it's mostly just your friends and your family, and then they basically shut you down and don't believe in it and basically talk a bunch of shit? Fortunately, that's never happened to me. Like I don't know, maybe I'm fortunate, I'm lucky that, you know, most of the folks who've been around me genuinely do want the best for me, or at least they don't want the worst. How about that? I don't know if they want the best for me, because it's hard to know what other people want, but it's clear that, like, you know, the friend circle that I had, there was never a point where if I said I wanted to do something that they didn't believe in. And in fact, a lot of times, even to this day, it's other people who believe in me more than me, which is interesting.
saying that you was never going to be anything. And so what we do, the successful ones, is we use that in order to propel us forward, right? We're negatively motivated, which can be a powerful tool for what success looks like, because you take all of that, and instead of letting it beat you down, you harness it and you allow for it to propel you forward.
See, that was something that, like, when he said that, I latched onto that because, again, I am where I am because of, basically, I mean, we have a similar trajectory, right? Like most, I would argue, most black men probably have a pretty similar life story, especially successful ones. I won't say most black men, but I'll probably say most successful black men, especially the ones who go into like corporate or who go into like they become like top performers in whatever field that they do, whether that be something in academic, intellectual pursuits, or if that's something that's athletic pursuit, right? So this definitely resonated with me, with this whole, like, I got to where I am based off of negative emotions. And it's just like, after thinking about that, I'm like, that's not a good thing. I don't think that's a good thing. Yes, you can look and say, hey, well, you know, you got all these results, you have all these things, all this bullshit and all that stuff. Sure, yeah, all that. But I think that there's an argument that like how you come across a result, like the way in which you obtain a result, I think is important, right? Where, let's say, for instance, if your goal is to go out and make $1 million, and you know, you got to do that, right? You could do it in two ways. You could do it in like a negative way. You can go selling drugs to people in your community and like basically destroying your community. You can make your $1 million that way, or you can build some tools or some technologies that enable the people within your community to accomplish more, right? In both situations, you can make $1 million. However, one of those is like it was like negative, like a negative association with it. And yeah, like now after doing a little bit, I haven't done a lot of reflection because I just watched this not long ago, just shortly before starting this. But one of the things that I think I need to reflect on is just like, you know, how I came to where I am now, and like how do I need to shift this so that, you know, the future success that I you know, shoot for is not driven from negative emotions, right? Negative emotions like, oh, like, I don't really know what they are right now, but just take that for what it is. I'm gonna go ahead and keep going. Oops.
And this is one of the reasons why you have to be a certain age to be a life coach, because most people don't understand all of the different transitions of what life is supposed to do for you.
Yeah, that's so you right. Yeah, like real talk. Like when I see life coaches, like, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so, I know a few of you have asked me if I'm willing to do like mentoring and coaching and all that kind of crap. This is one of the reasons why I'm so, like, I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. That's why I'm weird about it. It's because I believe this, what he's saying. I think that you cannot claim to be something, or you should even act or pretend to be something unless you've like lived, right? And sure, I've had experiences, but you know, I haven't had that many experiences, right? Like, you know, I'm only 34. I don't think that I would make a good life coach or any type of coach until I'm like at least in my mid 40s, where it's like, you know, I've been on the earth for 4 decades, and you know, the first 2 obviously are kids. You're a child, and then those second 2 decades, you're an adult. At this point in my life, I've only been an adult for about a decade and a half. So it's like, in my mind, I'm like, no, I need a little bit more time before, you know, I can, you know, go around and even give my opinion on what people should do, right? Because I haven't been through enough, right? I just haven't been through enough. I've been through a lot. I've been through more than most people, but even then, like, I don't meet my own bar. And unfortunately, that's the only bar that I care about. So, you know, that's, I normally, I get this with other people too, because they'll be like, oh, it's okay, this and that. And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, your standard is your standard. I'm not going to operate or work to your standard unless it's higher than mine. And it's kind of the same thing where it's like, I need to feel that. I'm going to go ahead and keep going now.
Or you let that propel you to continue to be successful. But what they didn't tell you, the other side of that equation is that you never let that go within your heart. So That same thing that propelled you to be successful is the same thing that continues to keep you trapped from going to the next level, right? Because that same residual effect, me coming from nothing, when I went broke, when I was in my
Oh,
early
by the way,
20s.
I do want to stop here. So it was shortly, I think it was it when I went to Omaha? It was either ayahuasca, maybe shortly before. Like I had a bit of a shift where I started realizing that like I had to be around people, right? Let me go back a little bit.
It's the same thing that continues to keep you trapped from going to the next level.
Right. So when he's talking about going to this next level, right?
Because that same residual effect.
When he's talking about like going, oh shit, give me a second. Sorry, my alarm, my alarm is going off for work, telling me that it's not even. What the fuck? Why it won't stop? Hey Siri, turn off the alarms. Still going. Why is it not stopping? All right, so okay, wait, what? Oh, okay. All right. So I'm sorry. Give me a second. I just realized that my Apple Watch is locked. It was water locked. That's why I couldn't stop my alarm. I'm sorry. I'm gonna go back a while. I lost my train of thought because my wrist started vibrating and then it wouldn't stop. By the way, if you want to wake up in the morning, get you an Apple Watch. At least for me, like that's how I wake up. Like this thing vibrates. I don't know why, but anything vibrating on me, it wakes me the hell up immediately.
That same thing that propelled you to be successful is the same thing that continues to keep you trapped from going to the next level, right? Because that same residual effect, me coming from nothing, when I went broke when I was in my early 20s, had to move back into my mother's basement, had the shame of it, leverage that in order to continue to become successful, get into the best space or the biggest spaces possible to get rich again or become successful again, right? You propel yourself from that. But it took me practically 9, 8, 9, 10 years before I started spending money again because I was so worried about the possibility of I never want to go broke again.
All right, so I definitely understand this mindset. Like, you never want to go broke again. If you've been broke, you understand. Like, you do a lot of things to make sure you'll never go broke again. And like, some of it could be negative, or I don't know, maybe not negative. Some of it could be not ideal, but sometimes it's the result that's more important. In my case, the reason why I used to work so much is because of that. It's like I never wanted to be in a position where if I lost something, I would have to struggle, right? So I like that's why my skill set is so diverse. If you've ever watched my streaming content and you're like, and you see all of the different things that I've done over the course of the however long I've been streaming on YouTube, and you see that I do a lot of different things, the reason behind that is because I never want to go broke again. Right, like going broke, the last time. So like, obviously, Hava Group is one thing, but there was a point in my life where I used to work in the oil and gas industry. The thing about oil and gas is that it's very cyclical. It has booms and busts. Given that I live in Houston, which is an oil town, a lot of times, there's a certain portion of our industries that have boom and bust cycles because they're all tied to oil and gas. Obviously, we have medical and some other things here as well. But yeah, I was working in oil and gas, and I got laid off in 2014, I think. Yeah, 2014. I think this is when the price of oil per barrel had went down. I think it dropped under 80 or something like that. And before then, it had been in the 112s for like decades. Or not decades, like years, like a long time. And it had been going up. And then something happened, and then all of a sudden things were not what they were anymore. And I remember losing that job. The thing is that I had just purchased a new car. I was living, in my apartment, and it wasn't that expensive, but it was like, I think it was like $1,400 a month or something like that. And, of course I had student loans. I had my motorcycle. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I had my girlfriend who I was trying to, anyway, all that to say is that like, I understand. And like, he's going to talk about his story, how he had to go back home. I also went back home. Except, it was me and my girlfriend at that time. And to be honest, the only reason why I was able to continue to pay off certain things is because of her. She actually paid rent for a little bit and all that other kind of stuff. So it's like, like I understand where he's coming from. Like you never want to go back to being broke. You'll do a lot. And like I'm gonna be real. Like I was glad that I had someone who was willing to hold me down and pay rent. But even then, like it didn't feel great that my girlfriend had to pay my rent. Like that didn't feel great, right? So like I started working even harder. Like I was already doing a lot, but it was at that point where I started my first business. Like I started looking for other ways. I'm like, nah, like I need to figure out ways where I can make money. And that's where I stopped looking at, a salary. It's like, oh, I'm trying to, because at that point I was making like $120 some thousand a year. So it's like, I stopped looking at, oh, I want a 6-figure job. And I was like, nah, I started looking at bigger numbers. I'm like, I want to make 100,000 a month. That's where I started. That's where I set my target on. And, what's interesting is that, I don't know, like, I don't even know how I did it, but I got there. That's the thing. Like, I got there. And a lot of that was driven off of, stuff that happened in the past, but also that feeling of like, man, like I need to do better. And I think he's going to talk about that here too. So I'll go ahead and let him cook.
So I got to make sure that we got enough money. I got to get this number before I start really living life. And I wasn't able to enjoy myself. And that entire time, instead of me living in the moment, I was so focused on, I never want to be broke again. I don't want nobody to say nothing against me, or I don't want nobody to ever tease me, or I don't ever want to be in a situation where my wife or my family don't have nothing. And so it took me so long before I could even start enjoying life. I lived for...
All right, so I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't know, like, I'm looking back and I'm thinking, like, it was that me? Because I don't know. Like, I know some of you all know that I've traveled the world quite a bit. But what most of you may not know is that I didn't start doing that until I was in my 30s, aka not long ago. And let's just say that I've been doing decently well since I was 26, right? So like there was a point where it's like, yeah, I'm like, why? I'm not, other than my cars. I did go through a point where I was like, I'll go ahead and buy some stuff now. But like there was a point where it's like I wasn't willing to do a lot of things, like. No, I'm not going to go travel. I'll just watch it on my TV. It's cheaper. Like, why the hell would I don't have, like, I'm trying to build these things. I'm trying to make money. Why the hell would I go somewhere else? So I definitely get where he's talking. I definitely get where he's coming from.
Free up until like 2017. I was rent free all the way up in 2017, 2018. And it wasn't because I couldn't afford another place where I couldn't start it, spreading my wings and spending money. It was because I was so worried about going broke again. I was so worried about the residual effects of what happened in my childhood of being broke, or 2008 when all of the crisis ran out and I had to move back into my mother's basement. My whole life goal was I'm going to use this to propel me forward. But then when I became successful, I couldn't enjoy it, or I really never embraced it because I was so worried about what happened to me in 2008.
So this is something that I feel for real, and I'm glad that I got out of that. I'm very glad that I got out of that because I was one of those people. And I think my grandpa was one of those people too. Last time I looked at the finances, and like, I mean, I'm going to say it because I'm proud of it. Like my grandpa is obviously he's a black man here in America, and he grew up during the Great Depression era. And he told me how much he used to make. It wasn't a lot, right? Like, like 15 cents, kind of like that kind of money. At no point in his life did he make over $20 an hour. However, when he died, he had saved over $900,000. So, like, 870 is between 879, something like that. Let's just say 9. It doesn't matter. He saved a lot of money, right? A person who was like basically always, working class, as most people are in Sunnyside. Right. He saved all his money. And I remember they would never go anywhere. And it's mostly because I think my grandmother didn't want to go anywhere mostly, but they would never go anywhere there and they would spend money. It's like, and that honestly, that was part of the reason why I am the way I am a little bit is because of him, because like he wouldn't spend money on anything. I remember we were at Home Depot one day, and this was back when, at the front, at the checkout counters, they had the Wrigley's gum, and they were like be 25 cents for the 5-pack. I know y'all remember that, the little small ones, back when things used to be affordable. I remember asking my grandpa if he can buy me a pack of gum. I don't know why I remember this. This is like the one thing that always just stands out in my mind. I remember asking for a pack of gum, and he looked at me and said, "No, what you think I'm made of money?" I remember arguing because me and my grandpa used to argue a lot. Like, he was the best person. And when I say argue, I'm not talking about like mean arguing. We just imagine how I am, and I just talking shit. Like, I like to do that with my grandpa. And, and I'm like, I look back, I'm like, it's only 25 cents, Papa. Like, he like, well, if it's only 25 cents, then why you don't have it? I was like, and all that to say, yeah, I understand. Like, my grandpa was that, where it's like, he got to a point, paid off house and, raised his family. But even then, like, he never really went out and did anything and enjoyed his money. That said, I guess me and my family, like me and my mom, like me, especially me, I suppose, got to benefit from it, right? Like, I got to benefit from it. So it's like, I don't know, it's hard to say, right? Like, do you want to go and be like, oh, I'm gonna go live life and just go do stuff? Or is it like, I built this not necessarily for me, but for them, right? And with my grandpa's case, I mean, obviously, if you go from being a fucking sharecropper to like, real talk, basically a damn near a slave, where you have to drop out and go work in the fields in 7th grade. Like, if you go from that to you work a cushy office job where you own all your stuff, you have zero debt, I can understand, and okay, all right, you're living, all right, fine. So in his mind, maybe that was where he is at. It's like, you know what? I know where I came from this, and he never lost that perspective. So maybe that's why he was okay with that. In my case, I don't really have a good reason for why I didn't want to spend money, other than I didn't want to be broke again. So the way I figured out to do that was just, all right, well, so long as I don't spend money, then I won't be broke. That's simple, right? So I'm even like, I even tell people now, because I have like these, what do you call them? I don't know what you call, like, I have a number that I'm unwilling. Like, I feel the reason why I go around saying that I'm broke is because I have a threshold, right? Because I've been in my position for such a while, which, like, I need to have a certain amount. And if it's not that, I feel broke, even though I'm not spending money. Now, of course, I understand that it's all relative, but I think it's important that you all who are younger, you all build up that same type of, mentality, which is like, consider yourself broke. All right. Yeah. Let's say you saved $100,000. All right. Yeah. Okay. Sure. You're doing okay, I guess. You're broke. Don't get in your head that you have money, because let's be real, 100K is not that much, to be real. But even if it were a lot of money, don't get in your head that, oh, I have a lot of money now, I should be able to just go and blow it and spend it on a bunch of stuff. Increase it. Say, all right, well, now I'm going to make sure that my number is always 250K. My net worth, it will never go into that. You get to that. Okay, stay broke. That don't mean you need to inflate your lifestyle. Stay broke. Keep saving money, keep living the same lifestyle. Just increase that target. Move the goalpost. All right, double it. All right. My number's now $500,000. I can never go under $500,000. Okay, make sure that when you get to that $500,000, it's not, oh, I'm $500,000 now. I can go and just blow a bunch of money, right? Like, it's the discipline over time. And what you'll find is that discipline over time, and you're saving stuff like this, and it's not just saving. Obviously, you have to go and earn, but there's obviously you earn, you keep some of it, you don't just blow it. That it'll start to accelerate. So yeah. Anyway, let me go ahead and let them finish. I've realized that we're only 7 minutes in this 19-minute video, and I've been yapping for an hour. So somehow we've turned. Oh man, I don't know. I think I'm terrible at this. I've somehow turned a 7-minute video into like, all right, let's go.
I never got over it. I would not hardly spend a dime until I got to a certain level. And then this is the thing that happened with people that have success. They are saving, they doing the right thing, but they don't even enjoy their life until they get 70, 80 years old. And then they got a 5-year window before they can start enjoying themselves before they die. Somebody said, how was I living rent free? Well, my father was the maintenance guy because we moved 2 doors down from my mother in a townhome / apartment. And my father was the maintenance guy, the head of maintenance in the entire facility. And so he got to live free. And then he leveraged that in order to continue to get us to live free because we had to move 2 doors down in order to take care of my mother. So up until my father died in 2017, we were living rent free the entire time. And so I had no reason to be able to move out. That's one of the reasons I was living free, is because my father was the maintenance guy at the place that we were staying at. So we were living free, and I was unwilling to spend a dime. But it wasn't that I was just unwilling to spend a dime because we were living free. It was also because I was afraid to spend any money because of the residual effects of what happened in 2008. And that thing still carry me. It still carries me sometimes. Sometimes I wake up and it's like a worst nightmare. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm broke again. And I'm like, I get up, I check my bank account. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm still rich.
He's stupid.
You know what I'm saying though?
No, I don't.
And so when
I'm gonna be for real. Yeah, at a certain point, like, I don't know, like, it stops mattering, right? Like, I remember when I was younger, when I was chasing, I used to check my bank account. Well, it wasn't just a bank account, but it was also I used to day trade. So I was always checking that account. Just, yeah. Now thinking back to it, it's kind of embarrassing, because when I used to check it back then, it's not like I had a lot. I think the most I've ever had was like 5K or something like that. I thought I was doing big things back then. And yeah, to put so much time and energy into looking at a dumbass number. Like, yeah, not looking back, I realized how dumb that was. That was stupid of me. Cause, like, I don't know, it's just like, it doesn't matter. Like, and it took. I don't know. It's sometimes weird how like life works out, where you claim that you want something, and sometimes life, you'll get it, and hopefully you're prepared for it. I learned that, when I didn't learn first. When I was younger, I used to chase money. That's what I thought was important. I got my first job, obviously, which I think I did pretty well. For a first job, I was making 70 on my first job out of college, which I got while I was in college. So I was making 70 while I was in college. Second job, I think was like 80. Third job was 96. Fourth job was 120. And then, like, after the layoff, like, I ended up having to take a hit, and I went to this company. I'm gonna drop their name because screw them. I don't like them. I don't like their CEO. Me and him had a falling out. Not at the company. This was years after that, after the fact. Like, it had nothing to do with working. Like, we were fine. I promoted all that. Like, I left amicably, all that. This is me and the CEO had a fallout 4 years after the fact. And this some other shit. It had nothing to do with the company. Parveda, that's the name of the company. Don't work for them ever. I hate them. Anyways, yeah, I ended up having to take their lowball offer. I went from making 125, I think, just base salary, right? I also got a bonus. So if you added in like total comp plus my insurance and all that, I was making about 180K. When I took that job with Parveda, after I was laid off, I was living at home, back home in the hood. And obviously I still have my girlfriend. So I'm like, I took the job. I had to do what I had to do, right? Took the job. They offered me $77,000. $77,000. Right? So, they offered this to me, right? I'm a fairly decent developer. I'm not trash. I will say that. I'm definitely not trash. I may not be great, but I'm definitely not trash. I'm definitely top 80, probably 90 percentile when it comes to development skill set, right? Just skill set alone. I'm not talking about like, oh, my code's better, because who gives a shit? Like, I had came from a place where I had built huge portions of our architecture, right? I'm doing well. And then I go to this company, they give me 77. Anyway, I took the offer because I needed the money. And I worked there for a couple years. And that was interesting. I got promoted within 6 months. The reason why I quit, by the way, amicably, is because even though I was outperforming, they even said, they're like, unfortunately, like we can only do a what do you call that? They called it something. They said like a fast track promotion or something like that. What was it? They said that basically you only can do it once, right? So like you can only get a fast track promotion once, and then from then on out, it's only the fastest you could do it is every year, right? So for me, I just couldn't accept that, because when I joined the company, oh shit, no, I'm like, yeah. When I joined the company, I was making 77. When I got my promotion, I was making 85. And then I did the math where I'm like, okay, it's going to be a year. And then I'm like, it's going to take me 4 years just to get to what I was making, before I like months, or like 7-8 months before I joined this job. So I ended up leaving and went back I joined some other company. They paid me a decent salary, like what I was used to making. And of course, I went on to GitHub, which paid me an even better salary, which was more than I was used to making. And then, yeah, other things. All that to say, I understand this whole, like, you look back and you see you see where you came from, and then you fast forward to where you are now. And sometimes you look back and you're like, man, I did some dumbass things. But sometimes you realize that, oh wow, like I had this experience. I said that I was going to do this thing, and I fucking did it. Which is, so if you ever talk to me, if you ever wonder why I seem like because I can come off cocky, and that's fine. I don't really care about that, because I know what I've accomplished. This is what that confidence is, right? Like, I can say that almost everything, and I say almost because the only two things that I can say I failed at are my relationships. I had two. Every other thing that I've set my sights on doing, I've been successful at. And I'm pretty specific in what I define, right? So like if I say I'm going to do something, it's not, oh, I'm just going to go do this. It's like, no, I'm going to do this, and here's my metric of success, right? I said earlier how like I was thinking of, when I was living, this was after my girlfriend had, paid my rent, and we ended up, the lease had ended, so I moved back in at home. I remember like looking for ways to make money, and I was like, man, I need to make $100K a month. And like 5 years later, I made $100K a month. Right. So of course I'm going to fucking come off confident, because it's like, okay, yeah, that, or the fact when I used to do music and I'm like, man, I want to be signed. And then, I worked up, and it's like, oh, okay. Or, hey, I want to do a YouTube channel. I want this many. And then over time, it's like, I do it, and oh, look at that. It happened. For the most part, I get what I want. For the most part. Right. So that's where the confidence comes from. If you're like wondering, oh, who is this guy? I'm a guy who gets to fuck what I want. Like I said, I put my mind to something, and I do it. That's who I am, right? That's it. I'm confident that it will get done, and I am going to argue that other people are confident that it will be done, because a lot of times people come to me for help with their things, right? Like I'm the person people come to. So that, to me, that tells me that it's not just self-confidence, which that's one thing. Self-confidence is good, but obviously too much is bad. But it's another thing when other people validate it.
Based off of something that happened to you in your past that's still affecting how you look at things going forward. And I'm not saying don't be informed by your past, but I am saying that don't let it control you. Don't let it control you. Don't let yourself be shackled by your past. And that could be anything. I'm using an example as far as finances in order to illustrate some stuff. But what I'm communicating to you guys is, you're always going to be having problems. There's never going to be a shortage of people that come at you on social media. There's never going to be a shortage of people that doubt you. You're never going to get away from people that think that you're not going to ever be anything higher than whatever it is, no matter how high you go. You're never going to find yourself in a space to where, okay, it's going to be a relationship that you run into, and it's going to be somebody that's drama-filled, but they presented themselves as great online, but when you meet them in person, they're going to be full of trauma and they can't get over it. You're going to have some problems. In 2024, I'm going to have some things that I have to overcome. In 2024, maybe even before the end of 2023, you're going to have things that you have to overcome. But that's just life. It rains on the just and the unjust, but we not going to live it twice. We going to deal with it. We going to be proactive and prepare ourselves for if something like that happens, but you're not going to put yourself in a position to where you're not living. You still got to live. You still got to thrive. You still got to have fun. Don't live it before it get there, and then live it when it get there. Deal with it when it comes, but be proactive enough to actually prepare yourself for the circumstance if it happens. You can still save your money. You can still make investments and enjoy life at the same time. And it don't even necessarily have to cost you any money to do so. But because you're
So that right there, that's for real. One of the things that I've learned is that you can do things and enjoy things, and you don't have to spend money. In fact, like other than obviously travel does cost money. Yeah, obviously you have to fly there and the lodging or whatever. But when I'm out, like once I actually get there, I spend very little money. Well, like I spend very little money on activities or food, right? Like obviously, like, I have to pay for the hotel and the airplane, all that. I get that, but like once I get there, like I find that the things that I enjoy, and this is everywhere, right? Like not just when I leave the country, but if I go anywhere, like I just walk around. Like that's what I do. In fact, I don't know if Chris is still here, but like when Chris and Co came and visited, we did some activities and some of them were free. Like one of them, we went to the park. Just went to the park and walked. That's the kind of shit that I do, right? And that's like this idea that you have to spend money to have fun is so toxic in our culture. I don't understand why in America everyone feels like in order for you to have fun or to get any type of enjoyment, you have to be spending money. Right? Like, and honestly, like spending money is not even fun to me. The reason why is because I see it now, right? Where you when you're spending something, you actually see you see that it's your money. It's like you've worked years, decades, not decades for me, obviously, but you've worked years for this thing. And it's like, when you spend it, you see how quickly it can go. And I actually don't like that. One of the things that I like doing is I like to see that dividend. I get dividends and shit. So I like to see like that dividend go. So like every month I'm like, oh man, like how cool would it be if I get the dividend up to here? It basically just means just buy more shares, right? It's just, I'm gamifying it because at the end of the day, like, you know, why should I give it to another man to make them richer, right? Why, if I'm going to give it to other people, I may as well give it to a group of people who not only will make me richer and whoever else owns that company richer, but would also make the community or the society that they serve hopefully better, right? Like I do believe that companies generally are used to fill needs within societies, and this is one of these cases. I'm gonna go ahead and finish or let this video finish soon because I'm at a minute. I'm in an hour and 13 minutes. We've only gotten 3 minutes. It's taken 13 minutes to get 3 minutes into this video. Oh man. All right.
Controlled by the things that is happening in your life. A lot of times you prevent yourself. You can't even truly enjoy the man that's for you now that you are the thing that you're looking to attract because you so focused on how another man treated you when you was in your past. So that man was abusive. So that man may have not been the man that you were supposed to be with. So you've now found yourself in a situation where you got lucky enough to attract the person that you are because you made some accountability, or you took some accountability and you made some changes in your life. And so now you're going to subject him to your trauma that you have in the past because you never fully healed. And just because you got yourself together didn't mean that you did all of the work on the mental side to really prepare yourself for what was to come as far as the opportunity and the blessings that come along with it. Life.
All right. So he mentioned this thing about opportunities and bless. All right. So here's one thing that I've learned. So I've had people ask me, how do you like opportunity? Like, how do you come across opportunity? Like, where do you find them? And like, where are they? And what I often will say is that, like, you have opportunity every day. Like literally every decision that you make is an opportunity. I think it's a matter of perspective. And some people I've noticed don't recognize an opportunity when they see one. So I think that there is, I don't know. I think that, you know, we have work to do as a society to teach people how to identify an opportunity. And It's not like it's a certain set of characteristics or traits that you could just look for. It's more to do with just under like it's a mindset. I don't know how to explain it. It's hard to explain, but it's a mindset. Like almost everything I do or look at, I see as an opportunity for something. Like everything, it's hard. Like I don't. How do I don't even understand how people don't see opportunities in front of them. Like things are obvious opportunities, and people don't do anything, right? So let's say an example, right? So you're out in the street. Let's say you live in New York, and you're like, man, like the streets are dirty. It's a lot of rats and a lot of trash and shit outside or whatever. Okay, you're complaining, right? You're complaining. You've identified a problem. Guess what? That's a fucking opportunity. That's how come I see almost everything as an opportunity, because for the most part, I see almost everything as a problem. Most things I see problems with. Like a lot of things I have problems with. I face a lot of problems. I see a lot of problems. I see problems to me are opportunities, which is why I say I think it's just a mindset shift where, it's just, I don't know, it's weird, right? What's crazy is that I've actually, kind of put opportunities in front of folks and they don't take them. And I guess they just don't realize that it's an opportunity. And I don't know, what can you do, right?
It's good. Through all of the bad, through all of the problems, through all of the issues, through all of the trauma, life is good. The trauma is a learning experience. When you burn your hand on a stove, that is your body teaching you that is hot. So it's not that you have to fear stoves. It's now that you become more informed on how you're supposed to leverage and use that stove more effectively in order to make sure that your food is cooked. It don't mean that you got to worry about getting burned. It just means that you need to be a little bit more careful of how you move around stoves. You don't have to be fearful of the stove. You don't have to be fearful of drowning. You have to learn how to get over it, right? You have to learn how to not deal with the people that you've dealt with before that may have had trauma in your life so that you can overcome it and get to another space in your life. You are not to live it 2 and 3 times, 4 and 5 times, 6 and 7 times over. One of the reasons why I tell people to forgive is that they think that forgiveness is for the other person. Forgiveness is for you. Yeah. Forgiveness is you letting go of the past so that
all right. That's 100%. That's 100%. I had to find my applause. I'm looking for it. Give me a second. There we go. Yes, I say this often, where it's like I'm like, forgiveness is for you. Like a lot of people think that, by withholding forgiveness, that somehow that they hold power. It's like, nah, like that's for you, homie. Like it's like you caring about someone who don't give a shit about you, right? Like, so I've actually forgiven most of the people, right? Like, and for me, forgiveness is like I forgive and move on, right? I don't really do this whole forgive and let's make up bullshit. It's like, nah, forgive, move on. So I forgave the person who, said that I would never be smarter than them. All right, yeah. No ill feelings, no hard feelings. All right, I hope you're doing better. I hope you're doing well. I did okay. Turns out objectively, I'm not doing I'm not doing bad. Again, like I had a freaking I'm not gonna say a name, but I had a ex from a long time ago, right? Forgave her too. And after that, I'm just like, I'm done with you, no more. Last time I saw her was a couple years ago, last year. Last year. It's not because I wanted to see her. She was just at my grandmother's funeral, so that right. And then like another person I've forgiven. It's just like it took me some years. I'm not gonna lie, it took me some years. It's hard to forgive someone who cheats on you, but I forgave that person. And honestly, now that I reflect back, yes, this person cheated on me. And this is why I say, like, man, life has a funny way of like giving you what the fuck you want. I said I wanted to be a million. Like I remember, I wanted to be a millionaire, right? Like when I was growing up, like I always wanted to be a millionaire. Like I was just like, that was my dream. I'm like, oh my gosh, like, it was to solve all my problems. I'll be so happy if only I were a millionaire. Okay, let's fast forward. My she leaves, And then, you know, like obviously I'm not happy about that. I shit you not. A year later, or I don't know, maybe it was 14 months. It was a year or 14 months later. I'm a millionaire. It's interesting. It's ironic. It's just like life has a funny way of giving you what the fuck you want. Right? It's just like, and then that was when I'm like, oh, okay, I guess I didn't want it. That's when I was like, oh, I guess I didn't actually want to be a millionaire. Like, I thought I just wanted to, I like the idea of it, right? Like, I didn't actually, but yeah, like, I definitely understand it, right? Anyway, let's keep going.
You can start to live based off of your future. Forgiveness, they think that forgiveness is for, I'm not forgiving them. Okay, well, that person is going to move on and still live their lives. You need to forgive them so you can let it go. Don't mean that you have to forget so that you're making dumb decisions going forward. Yes, you are supposed to be more informed. Yes, you're supposed to pay attention. Yes, you're supposed to continue to live your life. But you are supposed to forgive so that A, you can be forgiven according to how you forgive other people, but B, so that you can let it go and start to live your life and be in bliss. You don't want to continue to be hamstrung with all of this stuff that came along with you. When I called all of the women that I've talked to in my past before I got married, and I made sure that we were on good terms, and that if they had ever experienced anything that was less than ideal from me, I asked them a question, and how can I make up for whatever. I wasn't doing that in order to just make them happy.
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna be like, I'm biased here, obviously, but I'm gonna say that this is what a real man does. That right there. Here's why I did it. Right, like every one of them, except for there are. No, actually, no, there are two. No, I'm lying. There are two that I need to do that. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do that this holiday. How about that? I'm going to commend myself. I'll do that this holiday season. But like, for the most part, everyone who I've like said that I've loved, which is not that many people. It's only 3. So maybe let's ignore all the people who yeah, we'll ignore everyone else. We'll just focus on these 3 people. I've said this to. I've tried to. I've mended things with 2 of them. Yeah, one, I don't know, it may take a little bit more time. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But, you know, I'm committed to it, right? Like, part of that is I committed to go to Singapore every fucking year until this happens, right? Like, I'm dead ass serious about my shit. Like, you know, I'm doing all right in life, so I can do it. Like, part of the reason why I go to Singapore, and like, I know Chris knows about this a little bit, not the reasoning other than I have a company there, but part of the reason why I go to Singapore every year is that I'm going to make sure that there's an opportunity for us to men, because like this, like, I don't know, I don't like that, right? Like, anyone who I love, even if I'm not with them, like anyone who I love, I don't want to have any kind of ill will. I don't want them to have like ill feelings or any, like, I just got to make sure shit is good. And the fact that he's done that and I've done that, that's why I'm like, yeah, real men do this. So that's why I'm saying I'm biased, but I still stand by that. I think that anybody who can like be mature and go back to anyone who they've either wronged or been wronged by, and get to a understanding to figure out how that happened and how that, you know, like how you reacted, how that may have played a role, and how like they, like, it's important, because at the end of the day, all we have is interpersonal relationships. And if you don't understand why you're failing, or, you know, what went wrong, or, you know, how you come off to other people, then you will necessarily not compete. And what I mean by that is because I exist on Earth, right? Like, I exist on Earth. I'm someone who's willing to do it. If you're someone who's not willing to do it, you don't stand. We are not equals. You're beneath me at that point. Like, you're not at the same level, right? So we all need to get to a point where if you've been wronged or done anything, you need to get to a point where like you can go and you can have those conversations. And if you're one of these people who can't have those conversations, in my mind, you're weak. Straight up, you're weak-minded and you're not leadership material. I think that anyone who's been in a leadership position has run into situations where they've had conflict, where they've had disagreements, where, you know, maybe the people who they're working with, you know, they don't always see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, you need to get shit done. And if you can't get over yourself and like get to the bottom of like what the conflict is and like resolve it, you're not a leader. You're not a strong person. You are effectively you're basically the 80%, the 90% at that point. I think that is a differentiator between, you know, people who are actually, you know, success, and like they're the people who you want to be around and they inspire you, and the people who, They're just like nobodies. You forget them, right? So I think more people need to do stuff like that. And I'm not just saying in like romantic relationships. I'm saying in any relationship. If you have a friend or a former friend or like anyone who like you know used to be close with, and some reason you're not close anymore, you had some kind of falling out, maybe text and be like, yo, you good? Here, how about this? Let's do this. Oh wait, no. All right. So I just realized that I don't have Instagram. I don't use. Oh wait, no. Maybe I do. Maybe one of my browsers has Instagram. Let's see. When I say one of my, I know you saw Instagram, but I have multiple accounts. That's what I meant. So the account that matters to me. Well, I guess technically they both matter. Okay, so no, I don't. Or maybe I have it in Brave. Instagram. No. Okay, never mind. So never mind. I was going to do something, but I can't do it now. I'll do it later.
I was doing that so that I could release myself to be fully available to my wife when I decided to get married from her. You have to forgive yourself. You have to forgive the people that did you wrong. You have to forgive every single thing that came along in your life before. And it doesn't mean that you have to not be informed as a result of it because it was a learning experience, but you have to, because it allows for you to continue to move forward with your life and not be worried about how it is that your past is affecting you going in your future. I'm telling you. For all of the people, and this is one of the reasons why I asked the question when we first come on the live stream, how y'all feeling? Where y'all at? What you do for a living? Where you live at? What's your general sentiment? How are you feeling about life? I do the same thing when we meet up in person. When we do the Patreon meetups and I meet up in person, I tap into y'all, I hold y'all, I shake y'all hand, I give you a hug, I want to feel your energy because I want to understand where you at and how it is that you can leave here a better person or in a better position had you not seen me that day. I want to know where y'all at today. I want to know what you feeling. I got to understand where my people is at because I have to get you over that space because all of the information that I give you will be for nothing if you do not know how to leverage it correctly because you're so busy worried and looking in the rear view instead of looking forward and looking through your windshield. We go on.
You know what? Like, I think that people like looking back. Real talk. I don't think people like looking to the future because it's unknown. And I don't think a lot of people like uncertainty, which is a problem in my opinion, because how can you claim to want to seek out opportunity? Like, to me, opportunity and uncertainty are the same thing, right? Like, uncertainty is chaos. Like, you cannot give order to something that's already ordered. The only way that you can give order is if something is chaotic. So wherever you see chaos is an opportunity to like restore order, or maybe not restore because I don't know if things start out ordered, but like to put things in order, right? And this idea that like a lot of people are just looking back, that's why they miss opportunities. It's because opportunities don't come from the past. It's that simple. Opportunities don't come from the past. They come from what you're doing and like confronting life, which is generally filled with problems. Yo, what's up? Anton Daniels. I thought I clicked on the wrong video. Yeah. Well, I'm doing a reaction. I didn't build a scene for this, so this is the best that I can do in the amount of time that I had to do it. Maybe if I do this more, I will figure out a scene so that it's clear that it's not, that it's a reaction. But yeah, I'm sorry if that was confusing.
Up and forward, up and forward. Up and forward. Even with this, I see people in the chat saying, hey, Richard Fain's still feeling some type of way. Richard Fain is feeling some type of way because just
some other beef. We don't care.
That's a 50 Richard Fain. He go. What is it he dealing with? We say about that man, it wasn't even good. We good. Based off of you moving in duress from your past.
All right. I think I went too far.
Learn to forgive yourself. Learn to forgive the people of your past. Don't live it twice. And start moving in abundance and not based off of you moving in duress from
So he said, "Don't live it twice." The thing I would say, I would rephrase it. I would say, don't make the same mistakes. Like, don't make the same mistake twice. Something along that line. Like I get what he's getting at with like don't live it twice or don't live it multiple times. AKA don't like sit there and revel in the just stay in that moment. Like get out of that. I understand what he's getting at, but I would add like add or amend either one. I'll put in there just like don't make the same mistakes. And if you're making the same mistakes, that just means that you're not learning and you're not growing, and you won't progress. It's that simple.
Your past. Learn to move in abundance. Enjoy the moment. If something happens to you, deal with it accordingly and move forward. We're moving forward in abundance, not in the past. So for all
I like how you said abundance too. Like that's one of the things that if you have scarcity mindset, you can't be around me. Straight up, because I don't have it. I pick and choose in my life now, and I don't have to be around people who don't have the same outlook on things. So in my mind, I'm looking at a potential, like for instance, let's say if I'm looking at starting something, I'm not looking at this may fail or like we need to like be very very conservative whatever. It's like nah, like I'm willing to go all in, and now I'm ambitious. I'm more ambitious than I used to be. All right, that's something that like I realized that I thought I was ambitious, but then I learned that I was a little under ambitious. I set out to I just wanted to be a millionaire. That was my goal. Now that I understand a little bit more about things, I'm past that one now. I'm like, nah, nah, I need more than that. And it's not even it's not even because of the money part. It's more because of the power, control, influence, like the ability to exert my worldview onto things. To be honest, I don't like where things are right now, and at least in our country. I won't speak on the world. I don't like where things are in our country. And like somebody is going to make decisions on how people live. May as well be me. You don't have to agree with me. I don't really care. But it may as well be me. Like that's how I look at it. Like if someone's going to make a decision, well, it may as well be me. So now I'm a little bit more ambitious now. I don't know if that's a good thing for y'all, but it's definitely going to be a good thing for me.
All of y'all that said that y'all was feeling some type of way, forgive yourself, forgive anything that happened to you, and move on. Somebody said, was it an attack or just an indifference of opinion? I think it was an indifference of opinion. All right, I think
that's it. So that's the video. I don't know why it took us damn near 90 minutes to get through a 20-minute video, but here we are at the end of that video. We didn't actually spend 90 minutes. I think we only spent an hour, but still, here we are at the end. I'm just curious, like, given this talk or him talking about forgiveness, have any of you have people in your life who you think you need to forgive so that you can move on and like go off and accomplish bigger, better things? At least in all of my cases, what I've noticed is that in every setback that I've had, like even now, like I still look back and honestly, like real talk, I'm not gonna lie, I would trade being where I am now. It's not, now that I understand, I'm just like, yeah, it's money. I don't really care as much. But maybe that's part of what life is, right? Where it's just like, all right, I needed life to give me the thing that I thought I wanted, which was money. Like I was so tied to this idea of being a millionaire. Maybe I needed life to be like, okay, here you are. You're that now. Now what? And now I'm like, yeah, I realize now that money don't matter. It's the people. It's the relationships. Real talk. It's the only thing that matters. It's the relationships. All right. Let's see what else we can look at today on the internet. Let's see what's on the not on the YouTubes, but on the Twitters. What does CSS stand for? Wrong answers only. I'm trying to think. What can I can't something? I don't know. I don't know. Wait, what just happened? Geert Wilders won? Who is Geert Wilders?
Als hij gewonnen, dat betekent enkel dat Turkije gaat gelijk mijn koffer pakken en richting Schiphol aan.
I don't know what that means. Okay. Man, all right, okay. All right, well, all right. It's stuff like this that makes me I'm ashamed to be in the same race with these people. They are a disgrace. Like, seriously though, like what the fuck? What, man, like what's wrong with black people? Like like first of all, she has whoever this person is. I don't fuck body positive. I'm not that. Whoever she had the audacity to come out of the house looking like this. That's number one, right? She had the audacity to come out of her house looking like this. Does she not love her mama? Was her daddy not around? Like, I'm just curious. Like that. Like this. Does she think that this is a good representation of her family and of our ancestors? And like, what the fuck? Like, what the hell is this? These disgusting hood rats doing this disgusting. Honestly, this is why I think this is why they're not wanted. To be real, like I don't. Yeah. I mean, who wants that? I'm just out of curiosity. Who wants that? I damn sure don't. That's it, man. This is embarrassing. That's just embarrassing. PHP Dev Rex douchebag YouTube prankster. What? I don't understand. PHP Dev Rex. Okay. I don't really understand the whole PHP Dev part, but I mean, is he about to get his ass kicked or something? All right, so I want y'all to notice how the person who did all of the bullshit, they're going to protect him and telling the person who is, in my opinion, the victim to chill. I'm noticing this a lot in our country. The victims are told, basically, they're screw them, and it's now the criminals who we want to treat like victims. It's interesting. This Thanksgiving, one of these has to go pick one, literally all of them. Like, what the fuck? I don't like any of these. ATF? Like, how's this? What the hell? It makes sense. He's thankful for coding. I would have been thankful if he would have wore pants or didn't skip leg day. Come on, bro. Bro, like how you supposed to have calves. Your leg's not supposed to be straight. Come on now. Ben, go to the gym. Do a squat. This is a shame. Like, come on. You should be thankful that weights exist. Go use them. Like, dang. Little pencil legs. All right. All right. He's humbled when a client voluntarily comes forward to say, please charge me more. Okay, sure. All right. Well, I'm going to be honest. I'm mostly tech titter. Tech titter. Like, I'm only really tech stuff. So, like, that's really what you're going to see. It's mostly tech shit. But, I don't know. If y'all have something that y'all want me to look at or react to, send it to me. Oh, this is cool. They did the this is the Apple thing. Oh, and they made a responsive. Okay, so it looks like they're using. Actually, Oh, actually, I've been seeing demos of stuff like this. This is dope. Oh wow, this is cool. I know how they're doing this. They have to they're using the position of the browser, and whenever it moves, they're probably using some type of physics so that when it moves, it like it reacts as if it's a actual physical body. And my assumption is that when it gets overlaid, we're looking at those pixels and it's doing some things. But I would actually be interested to see explanation of this, or I don't know, maybe I'll just go and figure out how to do it myself. Oh, look, literally. Oh, wow. Look at that. Literally what I said. You get the, yes. Yeah. The get screen details. That's what, yeah. So that's all you need in order to do that. So that's not that. Here, let me show this. I think we could show this now. We'll do, of course, we always got to do a tech angle window dot screen, is it screen details, I think, which is a function, which is not a function. Oh, it's, wait, let's see how this works. Is it screen details? I thought I just saw it. Was I just not reading it? Oh, I was. Yeah, get screen details. Okay. So get screen details. Okay. Oh, it's a promise. Okay. Allow twitter.com to elect. Oh, access your window. Okay. So this must be a new feature. I'm going to say not now. Yeah, I'm going to say not now. But it's interesting that it is a promise, and it's even more interesting that Twitter is giving me an error. I should be able to run whatever JavaScript I want on my computer. Like, so I don't know what this error is about. I'm going to open this in Firefox because I want to see that. Actually, no. We're going to do get. Oh my gosh. Let's install. All right, yeah, cool. So we'll do get screen details. See how this works. Okay, so yeah, you gotta wait it. Constraint of screen details. Screen. Okay, so you know how many screens you get. Oh, this is cool. I could probably do. This is a really interesting API. It seems really easy to use. That's cool. Oh man. Oh, my bad. Casual comments. I see you said unsexy red. Yeah. Man, like it's so embarrassing how QAnon. Oh my gosh. Have y'all ever seen, this is a random question, but have y'all ever seen a moose? Wait a minute. Wait, what the fuck? Again? What the? What's wrong with black people? And when did this become our culture? And I mean that seriously. I grew up in an all black, I grew up in an all black community. At what point did this degenerate shit become our culture? This is so far removed from all of the black heroes who I grew up like idolizing and respecting. This is so far removed from that. Like, I'm dead ass. We went from having some of the most eloquent speakers, some of the most intelligent people. I mean, we still have that, but like now that's not what's presented, right? Like, I don't know, man. This is disgusting. She's disgusting. She looks disgusting. Everything about this is disgusting. Like, this is, let's move forward. Canadian tech issue are lucky guys. Why? Wait, is that 8? Is that 8189? That must be at a company. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm like, what the? Okay. Yeah. So this must be the network speed. I wait. 8 gigabits. Yeah. See, that's what. Yeah, that's what I was saying. I'm like, this must just be. This must just be like the network in the building. Okay. All right. That's a little bit okay. So they're on a 10G network, and I guess they have a 10G NIC. No, that would be more than 10G. If they're getting 808, yeah, that's more than 10G. I don't know what that is. That's crazy. Why does Zoom have offices? Well, because they need to work. I don't know why a lot of people like think that because Zoom does video conferencing software that they must need to do everything remote. Like it's a tool, right? Like remote conference software is a tool. That doesn't mean that we use it all the time. Also, I'm going to argue that most people aren't good remote workers. So there's that. No, a lot of people wouldn't want to hear that, but a lot of people, I mean, let me be honest, most people are menial at their jobs or average, like mediocre at their job, rather. So it's just like if you're remote, like it's only going to become worse, right? Like you have poor communication skills, you have very little actual skills, and like you don't really get the work done. And when you do, it's low quality. It's like, yeah, that's why you got to be in the office. People like me, I think there are people like me who've been remote before people were forced to be remote. There's a difference. There's a difference between people who are actually remote and people who are accidentally remote. And what I found is that most people don't have the skill sets to work remote. Their communication is just, they don't know how to communicate. And I don't mean they don't know how to like talk and just, talk to people interpersonally. I mean, they don't know how to communicate effectively, right? Like most remote work is written communication. I mean, that's how because we're all async. And because we're all async, that means that we have to do things asynchronously. And the best way to do that is via, words. Most people just don't write a lot or aren't even capable of thinking through things that deeply. So I'm not saying that that's the case here. I'm just saying that that's most people. And I'm going to assume that, Zoom and most other companies, the people who they are hiring from is the pool of most people. So you see the issue? So yeah, like, of course, yeah, they're working in the office because they tried it. They must have realized that their productivity must have went down, quality may have went down, things didn't actually go up. So they don't have the workforce. They don't have the quality workforce for remote work. So they brought them back into the office, which to be honest, like I don't see as a really bad thing. And this is coming from an actual remote worker. I've been remote most of my career. And like, I don't have problems with going into an office. Even now, like, if I need to go to San Francisco to do stuff in the office, I'm happy to do it. If if I had some type of project where the company said that, hey, well, like it'll be easier or it'll be better, or maybe we can get further along or whatever. Like if we can get success, and they're like, hey, like we like you here for 3 days, or not 3 days, I'm sorry, 3 months. I'll come for 3 months. It's not a big deal to me, right? Because like, again, kind of what I was saying earlier, I mean, life is about relationships and interacting with people. Like networking, right? Like meeting people. You're not meeting anybody or being presented with new problems sitting at home. Like opportunities aren't going to come knocking at your door. Opportunities exist out where other people are, and they aren't in your house. So you got to go out. You got to leave. So if you're one of those and you're like, man, like how do I get to a position where like I can like, live this life that I see some of these other people living? Well, it's that you got to put yourself out there, and no one's going to force you to do it. If you don't do it, fine. That is your prerogative. You don't have to. Like nobody's going to say anything. If you do it, fine. That is your prerogative. Do it. Right. But of course, if you put yourself out there, you're going to subject yourself to the opinions of others, just like I'm doing here. So like that'll be for you to deal with. Like, fortunately, I was brought up the right way. So like other people's opinions don't affect me. Let's see. We invented QStar first. Glad OpenAI is building on top of our idea. Okay. But did you build it? Like that's man. You know what? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's like it's. I mean, yeah, sure. Yeah. It's based off of A Star. Oh, that's why it's called Q Star. Okay, all right. Hold on, I got to read this now. So I know I'm still a nerd at heart. Like, so like I just realized that this is using A Star, and I'll talk a little bit about A Star search in a little bit. If that's, I imagine this is not just something that everybody here just knows deeply. But let me read this first. Efficiently solving. Actually, I want to read the paper now. I want to read the paper itself. Oh, it's on Cornell's website. Yeah. Or wait, is this Cornell? I think AVAR. Yeah, I think this is Cornell, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it is Cornell. Okay. Yeah. By the way, I used to read a lot of papers. Like, cause I don't know if y'all know this, but I used to be in school. I used to go to school. I went to college. I went to like BS, and then I did graduate school. Like, so like I'm very familiar. Yeah. So when I saw ARX, I was like, oh, this looks like Cornell. So I had to go and confirm. And it is. We're good. By the way, this is an excellent resource. An excellent resource to learn about all of the latest happenings in computer science, as well as AI, if you're really into AI and machine learning. All of that's here. Obviously, they do stuff on like robotics, networking, graphics. Well, maybe networking is graphs. Maybe we'll just say, yeah. Check this out. I'll share the link in here. And I'll also share the link. You know what? I'm not going to share the link to this. I'll share the link to the article that I'm about to read. And what you'll find is that if you just remove the /PDF, it'll take you to the website. So here's the article that I'm just going to read the abstract. I'm not going to bore y'all with like actual reading through this. This is something that I'll do on my own, unless y'all want to see that. I did talk with 20 days later, or 20 hours later. So yeah, I talked to him 20 hours later about potentially doing a collab, and he said that we should read a paper together. He was a research engineer at Meta Facebook. So this was his job. So I would like to do this with him because I would just like to see how a professional does it. I've never been a professional researcher. I've only been a halfway decent, not even a halfway student. I was a terrible student. I'm not even gonna lie. Even in grad school, even though my grades were good. Like I'm good, but like I was a terrible student because I don't really I do my own thing always. All right, so we're interested in, I don't care. Let's go to the introduction. Systematic generalization has been characterized as the capacity to understand and produce a potentially infinite number of novel combinations from known components. This is Chomsky. Okay, for example, in figure 1, a model could be exposed to a set of facts, e.g., Nat is the granddaughter of Betty, Greg is the brother of Nat, Flo is the sister of Greg, but not to the, wait, why can't I read that? But not to all, okay, that's why, but not to all possible facts that could be inferred by the combination of the known components, e.g., Flo is the granddaughter of Betty. More recent work has examined systematic generalization in terms of the ability of the model to manipulate concepts in new combinations after being trained on all concepts, but only on a limited set of their combinations. And this is, I can't pronounce that name, Badeno. I don't know. I can't pronounce that. This view of systematic generalization shifts emphasis from reasoning to learning. Oh, I see. Okay. So this right here is, I think this is a key sentence right here, or maybe I'm not going to call it an insight, but I think this is something to really pay attention to right here, that we're shifting our emphasis away from reasoning to learning. So to me, this almost has the implication that, like, for the most part, like a lot of the research has been centered more on reasoning, like how do we get from point A to B, and not necessarily learning, like, I guess the set of rules around the thing and then being able to act on that. I'm assuming, right? This is an introduction. I haven't actually, and I didn't read the abstract, which I probably should have done. That's what you're always supposed to read the abstract, but I didn't. But whoa, what just happened? Huh? Are there links in here? Oh, those are links. Oh, no wonder. Okay, all right. So I've just learned that I can't click because I may accidentally. I may accidentally move forward in the paper. All right, I want to look at this model. Okay, so this is the example that they give, where they say that, all right, we have Betty, and then Flo is the granddaughter of Betty. Greg is the grandson of Betty, and Nat is a granddaughter. Okay, and then Flo is Greg's sister. Flo is also Nat's sister. So basically, they're all siblings, right? And then yeah, they're all siblings. And we have this notion. We have this notion in trees, by the way, too. Yeah. And I said I was going to talk about A-star, so let me go ahead and talk about that right quick before I forget. Because it said A-star, so I'm like, okay, well, A-star is a type of graph search algorithm. So let's find A-star, and we'll come here. So you see here, oops, my bad. It's a graph traversal and path search algorithm. So it's pathfinding, essentially. So this is the canonical example that we're given. And like generally, I think this was our first assignment with our introduction into A-star when I was a freshman in college, was, like we're going to generate these random mazes. Like we literally had to generate our own random mazes in C of all things. So like we generate these random mazes, and then we use we build this algorithm that's able to find a path to the what do you call this thing, to like the end. Now the thing is I don't think it's the shortest path. I think it's just a path, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember. Let's see. One major practical drawback is it's b raised to the d space complexity. I don't think that's what I care about. All right, who wants to correct me on A-star? Like, did I just say something wrong? Does A-star find the optimal path? All right, so let's see. With a consistent heuristic, A-star is guaranteed to find an optimal path without processing any node more than once. And A-star is equivalent to running Dijkstra's algorithm. Okay. All right. What's the reduced cost? Okay, so it is. All right. So I wasn't sure. Like I forgot about that particular fact. So it does give you an optimal path. And why is this important? A lot of things give you a path through, like a path from A to B. But generally, we as humans, we don't care about just any path. We generally want the best path, right? Best can be defined in any number of ways. It could be the one that's the shortest path. It could be the path that takes the least amount of time, the path that costs the least amount of money, the path that involves the least amount of risk. There's all kinds of things that you can use as your definition. So yeah, like this, to be able to get an optimal solution is generally preferred to just getting a solution. And oftentimes it's getting an optimal solution that's that's responsible for a lot of the complexity within an algorithm. If you're willing to loosen those requirements, you can arrive to a solution much quicker. And when I say a solution much quicker and arriving, I'm not talking about you thinking about it. I'm talking about the computer able to actually do the computations, give you your solution. Yeah, you can actually get to a solution. It'll take more, cycles to get there, but maybe it'll be, I'm sorry, that's the wrong way of saying it. It'll take less cycles to get there because it'll just give you a solution out of a potentially infinite set, which is always easier than just one solution. I don't know if I'm going to implement this. This is fairly easy to implement, by the way. Like A-star is one of the simplest algorithms I've ever implemented. Because it's like, you just, honestly, if you look at how you just look at it, you can understand how it works. It's not hard. But to be fair, most graph algorithms aren't that hard when you really understand like how graphs work. And I want to leave one other thing on this technique before I leave this, and it's about trees and graphs and how they're related. I'm going to pull up let's pull up Obsidian right quick. Excalidraw. Okay. Oh, man. I don't know why this keeps changing my color. It never saves it. Dark mode. Okay. All right, we're gonna draw a few nodes right quick. A node is a circle. One of those. I'm just gonna do some circles. I'm gonna copy them. Copy, 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 copy. One more. All right, that's good enough. All right, so is it one? Wait, what just happened? What? What did I do? Let me undo. Okay, all right. Okay, well, this is fine. I don't know how to deal with this, but I'll just do this. We'll just go forward. Okay. Oh shit. My bad. There we are. So hopefully these are all connected. Yeah. Cool. And these drawing applications are so hard to use for me for some reason. All right. So here's we're going to kind of go down a list of things. Our first thing is going to be a list. Let's make this bigger. So we have a list. All right. This is a singly linked list. We're not going to get into all the different variations of a list. Just assume this is the default one. And then we have a tree. We'll just copy this. All right, so we'll make this a root node. And then we'll copy. All right, so we'll and I guess we'll do one more here. We'll do that. So this is going to be a binary tree, not just a regular tree. Although I could do a general tree, but no, we're going to do a binary tree for now. So we'll attach those, attach this, attach that, attach that, attach that. Oh, what the fuck? All right, cool. All right, cool. So now we have a tree. And then we're going to do a graph. I'm basically just going to copy this, and hopefully this will make it very obvious. Oh shit, why did that not work? Hopefully it'll make it very obvious what's happening here and why I think these things are related. And by I think, I mean they are. So we'll do graph. Okay. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to remove one additional constraint. So we're going to basically do that. We'll do that. And then let's have, okay, fine. We'll just delete that. And then we'll have this point up to here. And then move these around if I can. This is really hard to edit. I'm struggling here. Just bear with me. Come on now. Okay. It would be awesome if I could click in the middle of an object and move it, which I can't do. I have to like click on this small touch target, and it's really hard to do. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this connection here, and I want this to be here. Come on now. Yeah. All right, so here's my graph. It's a shitty graph, but this is the best I'm gonna do because this is hard to do now. All right, so why am I drawing these things, and what's their relationship? Well, when you think about it, a tree is only a list. Why do I say that? Well, the worst case of a tree, it devolves to a list. How does that happen? Well, in a binary case, if we have a bunch of insertions and they're all smaller than the previous, we're going to get a straight line. We're going to get a list. We're going to have our root node, our second node, our third node, our fourth node, our fifth node, all, and so on and so forth. So if we want to find any information, our worst time would be on the order of ON. So like we'll be on the order of, what the fuck? Yeah, we'd be on the order of O of n, right? That's our worst case because this devolves to a list. This is a list. So what is a tree? A tree is a list that has a constraint, right? So, so each node can have at most 2 other nodes. And then there's also this other constraint that the node on the left must be smaller than the node on the right. And then there's an additional constraint that the node on the left must be smaller than the node that's the parent, and the parent node must be smaller than the node that's on the right child, right? So that's why I'm saying that this tree is a list. But let's go further. Let's go to this graph. All right, well, if we look at this graph, it should be very easy to see how if we were to add constraints, how we could get to a tree by adding constraints. So I don't know, like at some point I just made a leap. I'm gonna call it a leap of faith when I was in school that a list and a tree and a graph are all the same thing. And that a graph is just the most generalized version of a tree, which is just like a type of specific version, or I guess a list with constraints that allows you to efficiently retrieve information. Obviously, the best case in here is the height of the tree, right? So like log n for search, and then there's also the height of the tree. Each time, yeah. Anyway, so all that to say is that I don't know where I was going with this, but there's some random tech knowledge thrown in just so that this feels like a typical Will stream. So we don't completely leave the tech stuff behind just yet. Eventually I will though. Don't worry. Eventually there will be no more tech on this channel. All right, police in Lyon, France are mobilizing to stop a tribute for victims of anti-white attacks in Crépole. 18 French civilians were stabbed by a North African gang at a festival. Okay, man, freedom of speech, huh? Ireland's at war. I don't know. Are they? What's going on? Why is there so much going on these days? Let me see what time my mom is coming. I guess a lot of people, wait, is this the same thing? Or is this a new thing? I've seen this now 4 times today. All right, so it looks like my mom will be here soon. Or wait, no, she's letting me know. We'll find out. Yeah, she's still be here a little bit. Ugh. What do y'all got planned for Thanksgiving? Are y'all already doing Thanksgiving stuff? I'm assuming Thanksgiving stuff is going to come a little bit later this evening for y'all. Or when, like, what do people normally do for Thanksgiving? Like, real talk, I generally am not here during the holiday. So I'm not like, do people, is it typically like, I don't really, I mean, I don't really celebrate Thanksgiving that much anyway, but like, is it typically like a dinner or is it a lunch that people generally do? Like, what do people normally do on Thanksgiving? I know people eat, but like, I never really ate because I don't like Thanksgiving food. Historically, like on holidays, I don't eat. That's I guess it's a day of fasting for me. I just don't. Most of the places are closed. Did you know there are 24 author paper? Wait, there's a 24 author paper by EAs for EA. What's the EA? About how totalitarianism is absolutely necessary to prevent AI from killing everyone. Oh yeah, let's go through this together. Yeah, this is interesting. Is she gonna link to the paper or like am I just gonna have to take her word for it? All right, it's fine. We'll figure it out. Frontier AI regulation. Frontier AI regulation. Managing emerging risks to public safety. All right, so we'll do that and we'll go to scholars. Oh my gosh. It didn't. Fuck. It. Okay. Managing emerging risks to public safety. Oh, here we are. I didn't even have to finish it. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Published up on Cornell. Told y'all this is an excellent resource upon papers. Let's go to the PDF. Oh, EA executive summary. Oh, wait. No, that can't be. Okay, what the hell is the EA? I don't know what an EA is, but I am going to read this. I'm not going to read the abstract. I know I said that you should do that, but I'm not going to do it. I'm going to read this executive summary. We'll go through this, see what they have to say for themselves. Executive summary: the capabilities of today's foundation models highlight both the promise and risk of rapid advances in AI. These models have demonstrated significant potential to benefit people in a wide range of fields, including education, medicine, and scientific research. At the same time, the risks posed by present-day models, coupled with forecasts of future AI progress, have rightfully stimulated calls for increased oversight and governance of AI across a range of policy issues. We focus on one such issue, the possibility that as capabilities continue to advance, new foundation models could pose severe risk to public safety, be it via misuse or accident. Although there is an ongoing debate about the nature and scope of these risks, we expect the government involvement will be required to ensure that such frontier AI models are harnessed in the public interest. We expect the government involvement. I'm curious though, like when they say we expect this, like which governments are they talking about? As far as I know, we have 196 governments on Earth. Are they going to treat all governments the same? For instance, like if Russia, I'm not saying I disagree, like whatever, they're no enemy of mine. Like every Russian I've met, they liked me and I liked them. So no enemies of mine. So let's say if people in Russia, the Russians want it, it's their government. Like, are we gonna have something to say? Right? Like my argument is no, we shouldn't. But that's just I'm more of a live let live kind of person. But anyways, let's go on. We expect So 3 factors suggest that frontier AI development may be in need of targeted regulation. 1, models may possess unexpected and difficult to detect dangerous capabilities. Yes, this was, oh wow. So this right here is actually related to the area of my research. My research was on latent bias in models. Latent bias is biases that are encoded into the models that we don't know that we have due to our human nature, and it gets encoded into the model, and it makes decisions and behaves as if the person, basically the person who embedded their ideas into it effectively, or the data, typically is data. And that's how we get like these latent biases, where it's like, if you think about how we collect certain data, which is biased to begin with, then that means that the models that we create are then biased, which means that the AI agents that we build are then biased. And because with these things, they tend to, what's the word? They tend to, I don't know how to explain it, but they tend to accelerate the pace of decision making. So it like, if you have latent bias in a model, it can increase the outcome that the bias, like it can increase the outcome in alignment with the bias that's in the model. I hope that makes sense. It probably doesn't, but of course I don't have any writings right now. This is how I think, by the way. So if you're wondering like why I'm scatterbrained, it's because I haven't written anything down. I'm a writer, if that isn't obvious. So like I had to write it down, and that's how I think. But anyway, let's go to number 2. Models deployed for broad use can be difficult to reliably control and to prevent from being used to cause harm. So this is the key right here. This is the key. Control. At the end of the day, anytime I see safety, what I have now defaulted to is control. Some other person wants to exert control, influence, power over some other controlled person. It's that they want to exert control over another person, entity, system, organization, whatever. That's where I start to have an issue with that. Hopefully the rest of the world, they can start to build their own AIs and make progress as well, because I don't think that it would be a good world if only the AIs that we build here in America are allowed to, like, or not allowed, but like exist, right? Like I can definitely see that being used to do all kinds of foul stuff to other people. Number 3, models may proliferate rapidly, enabling circumvention of safeguards. Self-regulation is unlikely to provide sufficient protection against the risk from frontier AI models. Government intervention will be needed. We explore options for this intervention. These include mechanisms to create and update safety standards, mechanisms to give regulators visibility, mechanisms to ensure compliance with safety standards. And I guess that's it. So let's go through these. So mechanisms to create and update safety standards for responsible frontier AI development and deployment. These should be developed via multi-stakeholder processes and could include standards relevant to foundation models and overall, not exclusive to frontier AI. These processes should facilitate rapid iteration to keep pace with the technology. My issue, though, is that like this almost sounds like they are calling for my speech to be limited. That's what this sounds like. I should be able to type whatever the fuck I want to type in my text editor. Like, real talk. No one should be able to say, oh, well, you're subject to regulations because of the words that you're typing into your text editor on your computer. I don't agree with this at all. But let's move forward. Mechanisms to give regulator visibility into frontier AI development, such as disclosure regimes, monitoring processes, and whistleblower protections. Oh, you mean like the ones we currently don't have in our free country of America, where we're supposedly free to speak about things, and we should be free from government retaliation. You mean that whistleblower protection? Unless they're on the wrong side. That's what it is. So it's like we will agree on whistleblower protections only if we agree with them. If we disagree, then you don't get any protection. That's what they really should say. They should say what they mean. I know that's what they mean. This is bullshit. This is a lie. Let's move on. These equip regulators with the information needed to address the appropriate regulatory targets and design effective tools for governing frontier AI. The information provided will pertain to qualifying frontier AI development processes, models, and applications. Self-regulatory efforts such as voluntary certification may go some way towards ensuring compliance with safety standards by frontier AI model developers. Okay, we're getting the title now, so I got to make sure I always avoid this title. I never want to be titled a frontier AI, whatever the fuck. I'll just be a developer who does AI. However, this seems likely to be insufficient without government intervention. For example, by empowering a supervisory authority to identify and sanction noncompliance. Ah, okay. So we need to be able to control you. Okay. By economic means. Okay. So we want to give economic means. I wonder if they're going to bring in physical means too at some point. Or by licensing the deployment and potentially the development of frontier AI. Signing these regimes to be well balanced is a difficult challenge. It's an impossible one too. We should be sensitive to the risk of overregulation and stimulating innovation on one hand, and moving too slowly relative to the pace of AI progress on the other. Yeah, all right. I don't see where they're saying, oh, okay, never mind. This is long. Okay. Because on that tweet, they said something about authoritarian. Let's see. I wonder if this is just their take. Let's see if that's just their take. This beautiful paper, let's just read it. Let's see. Since this sounds like an exaggeration, I will quote verbatim, or rather post screenshots verbatim for most of the thread. Okay. Frontier AI models pose a distinct regulatory challenge. Dangerous capabilities can arise unexpectedly. It's difficult to robustly prevent a deployed model from being misused, and it's difficult to stop a model's capability from proliferating broadly. Okay, sure. They predictably call for exactly the same kind of regulatory capture most convenient to OpenAI, DeepMind, and other players. So that's the thing. All right, so this is something, let's just say that I've read a lot of books on business and startups. This is actually a strategy for companies, which is, let's say, for instance, you build some new technology or whatever, and like you're the only one that really exists, and you have other people who are now starting to get into the market. Well, what you do as the person who is first is you make sure that laws are made, aka regulations are made such that you stand to benefit and no one else can ever compete with you. So that's like a lot of times, like, you know, regulation, it's sold to people like you, regular people, as safety. Oh, it's good for you. But in reality, a lot of times the regulations aren't what you think. I won't say names, but I actually know of a person who literally had laws written for him to be able to do shit. I mean, that's just how it works in our country. If you think that we are a country that's just like not corrupt and all that, you know, you have a lot to learn about life in general, not just America. I'm not saying that, like, you know, we're as corrupt as other places, but like, definitely corruption here. And yeah, like regulation, like a lot of time companies are using regulation, they're weaponizing regulation, right? So just keep that in mind when if you see these companies calling for this extra hard, it's because they're the only players, and they understand that if they add regulation, that's another barrier to the market. That's another barrier to entry, right? Like it's more stuff that people have to go through before they're able to compete. So obviously, if you add more barriers to entry, the less likely you are to get competitors. So yeah, like whenever you see companies like pushing for regulation, you should never look at it as being altruistic. It's generally not the case. Companies are profit driven. That is the curse of our country, is that we allow corporations to just have their way at all costs, so long as they make a profit. Like, so yeah, what she's describing is true, but let's see what she has to say about this. Let's see, standard setting processes identifying appropriate requirements. All right, wait, let's read this slowly. Standard setting processes to identify appropriate requirements for frontier AI developers. 2, registration and reporting requirements to provide regulators with visibility into frontier AI development processes. And 3, mechanisms to ensure compliance with safety standards for development and deployment of frontier AI models, including self-regulation. Oh, industry self-regulation is an important first step. Okay, got that. Did she comment anything here? Oh, is that okay? I see. All right. They list some costs and benefits here. All the citations about positive examples of AI are demonstrations of AI in the real world. All of the negative citations are just their own hypothetical scenarios constructed with no basis in reality. That is one other thing that I have noticed. A lot of this talk about safetyism and all this crap, like, I don't know. I'll move on. I remember how they said earlier that it's hard to define or prove harm, only the possibility of harm. That's the key to the coming crackdown. I take their take or whatever. I take his take. Oh, he's an ML writer. I might have to follow him. So far, like so far I'm along with I'm along on the ride with him. At this point, everyone in the audience should be aware that these are not just powerless academics. These are members of think tanks, government agencies, companies, and corporate boards with real power. Here they list 4 concerns, which I'll rebut one by one. Allowing a non-expert to design and synthesize new biological or chemical. Okay, I guess I'll read the whole thing. After a quick break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. Break. I need to grab some water. I'll be right back. All right, back. Got me my water. I made some sparkling water. My glass is dirty. I've been using this glass since last night. Don't worry. I had some lemon juice in here last night, or lime juice. But yeah, I made my own sparkling water. That's what I've been up to these days. Roscoe, we'll go outside in a little bit. I am gonna have to go in a little bit. I normally take my dog out for a walk at basically when I wake up at 7. It's currently 11, almost 11. So I am gonna go very shortly. Maybe I'll come back. I don't know if I'll come back later, but maybe we'll come back to this another day. I'll go ahead and save this thread. Yeah, you hear my dog. He's making noises now. Let me add this to my notes for today. I'll share my screen for you all too, so you're not just wondering like what's going on. All right. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wish you all a happy Thanksgiving. I may be back later. I don't know. We'll see. But if I don't see you all, enjoy the rest of your holidays, and thank you for joining. If you enjoyed any part of this, I would appreciate a thumbs up. You can follow me on everywhere. I am Will Shepherd on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram here. Follow me on LinkedIn if you want. But yeah, I will see you all later, and enjoy the rest of the day. Peace.